front of me are two of the top truly wireless earbuds in the market right now. The AirPods Pro just released, and the Sony WF-1000XM3. That is the only time in this video I'm saying the full name of these headphones. Um, these are, I consider these to be in direct competition of each other. You know, there's a lot of truly wireless earbuds in the market right now, but these two, share pretty similar price tags, slightly less similar, but still pretty similar set of features. And I think that these are the two to really be compared. When these had first came out, I know I had wanted a lot to see a comparison between the Sonys. A lot of other people did too. So since the time of the AirPods release, there have been videos comparing the two, but I figured I want to try and throw my 2 cents in, see if anyone cares. So this isn't a review of the AirPods. I am going to give my thoughts and impressions and stuff on them, but this isn't a dedicated review of the AirPods. There are much more clean looking, professional, better quality videos for that than I could probably do. This is just a comparison because I have owned these for a good while now. I've owned these since right when they came out. Not right when they came out, about a week or so after they came out. And then I got these when they came out too. So a bit of background, AirPods, even though I'm fully in the Apple ecosystem, I have an iPhone that I'm shooting this video with, the new one, I have an Apple Watch, no computer or anything, but I have these Apple devices, but AirPods, the original ones, were never cutting it for me. I already don't really have good luck with the earbuds fitting in my ears. So the original AirPods, and even the ones after, because they're still pretty much identical, I couldn't do them. They did not fit in my ear whatsoever. The sound was just terrible because there's no seal at all. So the sound quality suffers as a result. And I couldn't, and I wanted to, I really wanted to, because I was I have an iPhone, I didn't have an Apple Watch at that time, but I just liked the idea of having a pair of earbuds that were designed to work with my phone, seamlessly, that were made as a companion to my phone. But I couldn't pull the trigger on AirPods. I tried them, my friends had them, I tried them, and I'm like, nah, I can't do it. So when these were announced, I had already owned these by the time these were announced, but when these were announced, I was like, wow, it's literally like Apple made these specifically for me. And they made these for people like me who just didn't have good luck with original AirPods. These have the rubber ear tips, they have noise canceling, a better seal, better sound, better, they're a step up in every way from the original AirPods. But you see, I'd already owned these, the Sonys, which share a lot of the features that the AirPods do. And so I didn't think I would need to upgrade from my Sonys, or maybe not upgrade, but switch from them. And I figured, you know what? I've always wanted AirPods. They finally made ones that appeal to people like me. So let me pick them up, see how they are. And we're just gonna run through a comparison, right? Because these two are not, it's not as close as you think. People might immediately say, oh, Sony is far and away better. And they are better, and these are also better. They excel in different things. So starting off with the design, this case, the AirPods case, is tiny. It's really tiny. The only two wireless earbuds I've owned prior to these are the Sonys and the Powerbeats Pro. And so I really, the tiny case like this is brand new to me. I love it. I can take these literally anywhere. I love the design of these. I love the way the case looks and feels, but I admittedly couldn't always take the Sonys with me wherever I go, because it's still kind of a big case, not as big as the Powerbeat. So that's that's gigantic. But a little bit too big to always take with me everywhere. The AirPods is like a blessing. I mean, these things have been going with me pretty much everywhere I go. They're so easy to carry around and just take with you. Portability is incredible. And kind of similar to the design is how the earbuds themselves look, and the fit of these guys right here is incredible. You know, again, I mentioned earlier, I'm someone who has never really had great luck with earbuds staying in my ear, and these come about as close as they come. I think the only earbuds I've been able to get a better fit with in recent memory, you know, I can't remember every single earbud I've ever tried, but the Bose SoundSport wireless, those fit like a glove. Those fit perfectly. But those also had like a specifically tailored design fit. You know, if you know which ones I'm talking about, you know that they're obviously, you know, great fitting earbuds. And Bose has always been about comfort and great fit too. But the AirPods are, I mean, wow. It's not a tight fit at all. You know, most earbuds, you just have to shove them in your ear and it kind of creates pressure and gets uncomfortable after a while. These, I see kind of why they're called like AirPods, you know what I mean? Like I don't feel like I have them in my ear. You know, they just sit in there, the silicone tip goes in your ear and you're good to go. You know, obviously this has to do with the different size ear tips you're using. I'm using the mediums and those fit fine. You know, if I was using the large, maybe it'd feel a bit worse. But once you get a good fit, these are great. You know, these are great. And I'll touch on how they fare during workouts and stuff later. But really quick, I want to cover the Sonys. The Sonys, when I first got them, they were an absolute nightmare to get in my ear. These were, I couldn't. None of the ear tip. They come with a ton of ear tips. So credit where credit's due. They come with a lot of different ear tips, a few different sizes, and they have like foam ear tips. Not fully foam, it seems like a foam rubber hybrid kind of thing, but they try to give you a lot of ear tips to find the right fit, and not a single one of them worked for me. You know, they'd stay in for a while, but they just start to fall out later, and with work, especially with workouts, no way. So I had to go buy a pack of, you know, the Comply foam tips, the third-party premium kind of ear tips that they sell. Not Sony sells, but Comply. And then we were talking, you know, then they fit better and they would stay in my ear more, but still they would be a little bit uncomfortable after a while. I'd have to adjust them and make sure they don't fall out and everything. So we're talking fit, comfort, just the experience of having them in your head. The AirPods come out on top easily. It's not even a close competition for me. You know, this, and again, this is just me. I'm not saying that the AirPods will always fit better than the Sonys. Everyone's ears are different. You know, the Sonys might fit way better for some other people, and they might be the AirPods fit like trash. You know, fuck these things. And that's fine. I'm just talking about my personal experiences, my own stupid little ears, you know? So, and the earbuds themselves, you know, the Sonys are a pretty beefy set of earbuds. They're kind of big. They don't, the design is very different from the AirPods. You know, the AirPods have that traditional, you know how AirPods look. Even though these are the new AirPod Pros and they're a different design, they're still very familiar. They're still AirPods, you know? They make contact with the actual bud, sits in your ear, the little hook, is that what it's called? I don't know the terminology. It just sits outside your ear. That's where your audio controls are. Oops. I'm keeping that in because I'm too lazy to edit that out. And to see how clumsy I am. I shouldn't own any of these stuff. Whereas the Sonys, only this soft part here actually makes contact with your ear, besides the actual ear tip, of course. And then other than that, it just sits outside. So, and these are comfortable. They're not terrible. It's a lot of work to get them to be comfortable. A lot of work. Before we move away from design, let's actually talk about some of the case's functionality here. So, USB-C Lightning. I would have loved to see USB-C on the AirPods, but it is what it is. I already have a Lightning cable, so it's not a huge negative. And both of these cases, the Sonys get about 6 hours of battery life with the active noise canceling on, and without the active noise canceling, you get 8 hours. Either way, that's still pretty impressive. 6 hours, even that is kind of above average for truly wireless earbuds. The AirPods, you get 4.5 hours with ANC on and 5 without it, and that's a little bit. I mean, it's not bad. It's very rare that I'm going to be putting these in for 4 hours straight. But still, that just means you got to charge it more, and, better battery life would have been better to see. These cases each charge the earbuds about 3 times each. No, these charge them more, actually. Because I think they both cases hold 24 hours worth of charge, but, that's more charges for this since the actual buds get less battery. But they both have 24 hours worth of charge. One thing about the Sony case that I'm not a really big fan of, you can't see the battery level of the case. You have this red LED light right here, but that just means that the earbuds themselves are charging. You just gotta play a game. You gotta remember how many times you've charged them in the case before you plug them in, because the case, you can't tell the battery level. The AirPods, they have a button on the back, and then there's a single LED that just shows a green or red light. So at least you can tell. And then again, since they're so well integrated into your Apple devices, I mean, if you pop the case open, it'll show the battery level of the case on your phone. So they both feature quick charge too. 5 minutes gets you 1 hour of playback for the AirPods, whereas these get you 1.5 hours worth of playback for about a 5 or 10 minute charge. I have to go look again, but point is they both feature quick charge. So went over design, comfort, fit. Now, I said that these two share a very similar set of features, right? They're both truly wireless earbuds. They both have active noise canceling. They're both designed to cut you off from the world around you, right? And now Sony has been the ANC king for quite a while now. With their over-ear WH models, I'm not going to say the full name, it's a dumb name. They need to, come on, fix your name, fix your names. I own those over-ear Sonys, and they are far and away the best pair of headphones I've ever owned. I mean, they are incredible. I'm not an audiophile by any term. I mean, I appreciate good sound quality. I've used enough headphones in my life to differentiate between good and bad sound, but I'm not, an audiophile. I'm just saying the over-ear Sonys were incredible. The sound is great, and the active noise canceling is it's second to none. People have said it's better than Bose. I've tried them both. The Bose noise canceling, not the 700s, but the QC35s and the Sonys, and I found the Sonys to be better. So Sony has been dominating the ANC market for a while, and it's kind of been, I don't want to say a monopoly, because Bose, again, is still in the game for that, but Sony has been dominating that field. Now the earbuds, the noise canceling on these is, what you'd expect. It's good. Earbuds that, go in your ear and create a seal already have, passive noise cancellation just from the seal they create in your ears. But the active noise cancellation takes that one step further, and it, actually filters out external noise, counters that with its own, anti-noise, and that results in much less of that outside chatter and noise, entering your ear when you're listening to music. Sony's do a great job of it. But, and I'm genuinely surprised to say this, I honestly think the AirPods do a slightly better job. And that might have to do something with just the comfort and the fit, because you can have the best noise canceling in the world, but if you don't have a good fit, you're shit out of luck. And since the AirPods fit so much better for me, the noise canceling on them has been far more consistent and spectacular. You know, the Sonys are great. I'm not, the noise canceling on them is great, but again, because I don't have that perfect fit in my ear, I just found the AirPods to be better in that regard. And I never thought I'd compliment AirPods for anything. I mean, like I said, I like Apple, I do, but original AirPods, I hated them. I was pissed. Probably jealous because I couldn't get them because I wanted them, but they couldn't fit in my ear and whatever. So better noise canceling on these. I'm surprised. And again, that might be subjective because again, it's because I have a better fit on these. But for me, AirPods come out on top. So that's the similar feature set they share. Where the differences start to appear is in the IPX rating, because that's something that may not be a big deal to some people, but for me it is. You know, these are IPX4, sweat and water resistant. That's about the lowest IPX rating you can get for that. I don't think there's one below 4, but still, at least they have some resistance. These have none. Now the caveat for that is that Sony's claimed that the previous models of these headphones, they've received no complaints from people who worked out in them. So, I mean, you can take that into consideration, but still, there is no sweat or water resistance on the Sonys, whereas there are on the AirPods. And I've used both of these for working out, you know, I mean, I've got nice and sweaty, you know, and these fare so much better because these are a heavier set of earbuds, you know, and I already don't have a great fit to begin with. So after like, you know, when I'm doing cardio, after like 10-ish minutes, these start to slowly slip out and I gotta, you know, on my cool downs, just push them back in, start again, push them back in. I'm like, dude, come on. I don't like working out in these. Really don't. These have been great. You know, I still get sweaty and they start to like slide a tiny bit, but because of the way they sit in your ear, you know, they're not really gonna go up and fall out. You know, they can't really do that. And I have a good fit. And a lot of this stuff just comes down to the fit and comfort of the headphones. And these have been a better workout companion for me. So, up until now, I've kind of been low-key shitting on these guys right here, the Sonys. So, it's their turn to shine because we're going to talk about sound quality. Sonys are better. There's no sugarcoating it. The Sonys are better sounding headphones. They have much more pronounced mids, lows, and highs. You know, they have a very wide sound stage. For a set of earbuds, the instrument separation, vocals, everything sounds like really wide. It's a surprisingly wide sound stage they've packed into these small earbuds, and it creates for a fantastic listening experience. Now, where the issue starts to rise is that Sony has never really been the best for Bluetooth connectivity. At least for me, because I have an iPhone, and people that had Androids apparently had no problem with these, and I've talked to some people, they're like, yeah, connect fine, this, that, but with my phone, it's been very spotty. You know, not saying the connection itself, because they connect, but you know, sometimes the audio quality will dip for a second and come back. Sometimes it'll just cut in and out. This one time, the left earbud just stopped working entirely for like 5 seconds and then came back. And it's, you know, you can have the best sound quality in the world, but what good is that if they won't stay connected to your phone? So I'm not gonna fault the Sonys entirely for that, because you know, I've heard from people that use Android that they're better. They connect better. And not everyone with an iPhone has had issues either. I mean, it's probably just not an isolated issue, but it's probably just a few instances. Not saying I haven't had this happen to the AirPods. There have been a couple of tiny connection issues, but it's been far less frequent. So, again, sound quality, definitely better on these. Now, that's not to say that the AirPods sound bad. I was actually, again, my entire experience with the AirPods has just been surprise after surprise after surprise, because The only experience I had with AirPods was the old ones, which I hated. So coming to these, I'm like, wow, the sound is really good on these. It's good. Good. Not as wide of a soundstage as the Sonys, which is kind of weird because these have bigger drivers than the Sonys. Anyway, but very clear sound is how I describe it. The lows, the low end, the bass is not too heavy. Bass is definitely more pronounced on the Sonys. Not that it's overpowering on the Sonys, it's perfect on the Sonys. That's that sweet spot where like a little bit more bass and it would be too much. These are not lacking in bass, but it's definitely less. The bass takes a backseat in favor of the mids. Out of the three ranges, mids, lows, highs, the mids are definitely the most pronounced on these, which is, if you were going to choose only one frequency range to emphasize, I would choose the mids, because that means you get that, good instrument separation and vocals, not the high vocals, but vocals, instrumentation. Most of the sound you're getting is in those that mid range. So these do a really good job of being consistent with the mid range. The low end is good, not overpowering, lacking a tiny bit, maybe I'd say, but the bass is still there. It's not like I want more bass. The bass is there. The high end is where these suffer a little bit. When you get to those high treble frequencies, it sounds a little harsh. It sounds like they're emphasizing the vocals in the high end more than the song is supposed to be, and it can be kind of harsh when you're listening at high volumes. But luckily, that's really the only major issue I have with the sound quality. And even then, it's not like the highs are like the majority of a song usually. I mean, they can be, but. So, sound quality, these come out on top, right? Oh, one more thing I wanted to cover really quickly. Call quality. This should go without saying, but the AirPods are way better with call quality. These are not that good. And that's what Sony's kind of notorious for too. They've never been the best at call quality. That's just how it is. The AirPods have been the king of call quality for a while, and it's still, even though the stems are kind of farther away from your mouth, they're still amazing for call quality. So, what about just about everything with these headphones I went over? Design, comfort, fit, features, sound quality. So which one is better? Right. This is where it gets a little bit more opinionated. So bear with me, and I'm telling you outright. I'm not biased, it's just my opinion, right? So the Sonys, I think, are a better individual. Take these away, the AirPods don't exist, right? The Sonys are an extremely solid, probably the best truly wireless earbuds on the market right now in general, for everybody. They come in this is sleek, the design is nice. I mean, these, let's face it, these are going to turn more heads than these, except for, I guess like Apple hype beasts, but the Sonys are going to turn more heads. The sound is better. The noise canceling is fantastic, and I would say it's better than the AirPods if I were to get a good fit, because again, I have the over-ear Sony models, and the noise canceling is incredible on those, so there's no reason not to believe that the noise canceling will be great on these too. So where the curveball is kind of thrown in is that, I have an iPhone. I'm an Apple sheep, so I just find these to be the better overall package for me. The Sonys sound better, but that's about the only thing I like better on the Sonys is the sound quality and the look, but at the same time, I like the portability of these. So the sound quality is better, that's it. Everything else goes to these. They have an IPX rating, the fit is better. The integration with iOS is, of course, better. These are good all around these are a great daily driver set of earbuds for an iPhone user. And you can use these on Android. It's just obviously you miss out on some of the features. These are the perfect daily driver set of earbuds for somebody who's got an iPhone. If you have an Android, go with the Sonys. Or AirPods if you don't mind missing out on some features, but at that point, just go for the Sonys. So they're hard to really compare because it honestly just depends on your ears and what phone you have. So anyway, I hope this was helpful in some way. I know there's far better videos out there that compare these two, and I'm just some dude sitting here with a phone camera and not really great lighting, but whatever. If you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. I really do. Thank you. Again, can't go wrong with either one of these. They're both extremely solid. I just find these better for my, day to day. That's it. So yeah, this has been my comparison. If you enjoyed it, let me know what you think. If you didn't enjoy it, also let me know what you think. Let me know what I can do better. And until next time.